From making the jump to a whole new era of Riley's life to introducing a whole new spectrum of emotions, here's everything you need to know about the upcoming sequel. But first, let's go over how the previous movie ended. The first part of the iconic movie came out in 2015, so it's been about 8 long years. And unless you've been rewatching that same clip of Bing Bong, yes, that unspeakable clip, there's no way you remember where the movie last left off. But that's what I'm here for. The movie started off with 11-year-old Riley moving to San Francisco, and after a long, rough year, things slowly get back to normal by its end. She's got awesome friends, loving parents, and a comfy house. What could go wrong? Well, Riley's about to become a teenager. She's about to hit the big 1-3. Yep, every parent's so-called most feared era in their kid's life. Before the ending credits show up on the screen, there's another big tease the writers left for the audience. After the whole fiasco with her memory islands collapsing, joy and sadness work together to help Riley create another core memory, confessing to her parents that she misses her old life and was having a hard time coping with the change.
Oh, sweetie.
We're not mad. You know what? I miss Minnesota too. I miss the woods where we took hikes.
In the backyard where you used to play.
Spring Lake, where you learned to skate.
The whole sequel idea isn't new either. The movie practically sets itself up for it, as the emotions hint at another big change as a new button pops up on their control panel labeled puberty. Take cover, because the upcoming movie will take a dive into the highly complex teenage mind. That's dangerous territory. Amy Poehler, the voice actress for Joy, revealed that the emotions do end up pushing that button, and that starts their spiral down the new chapter of her life. The sequel will also be introducing a whole new bunch of personified emotions. The original movie received a lot of criticism over the fact that only 5 emotions were portrayed. According to them, the human brain was way more intricate, and just 5 emotions weren't enough to wrap it all up. But then again, this is just a kids' movie, not a psychology report. The animators were initially planning on introducing many more unusual characters besides the 5. There's also irritation, embarrassment, and shame, which failed to find a place in the heroine's head. The main reason they weren't in the movie is because it took a lot of work to incorporate the 5 into the script in the first place. Any more than that, and the movie would have lost its harmony and consistency. It would have been hard to keep up and resulted in a mix-up of all the characters. But in my opinion, the director, Pete Docter, made the right decision by settling on joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust as the main emotions. They're the most basic ones and pretty much include the rest of them. Anger wraps up irritation and rage, fear can include nervousness, anxiety, and terror, and interest and pleasure can be listed under joy. Besides that, one of the value islands, honestly, is responsible for guilt and shame, so it's understandable why the movie settled on the top 5. And at the end of the day, the movie's incredible production covers up any complaints the critics have brought up. The movie also holds personal importance to its director, as Kelsey Mann felt connected to it, which is why the movie is even hitting the screens. Yup, Docter, who directed the first film, was originally conflicted on whether there should even be a second part. At the end of the day, it all came down to Mann, the director of the upcoming sequel. While speaking with The Wrap, Docter explained why he felt a sequel would be worthy after the huge success of its predecessor. Inside Out 2 was extremely personal and poignant for Mann, with the way it's got a great heart to it. It's got a really great core that is central to some of these new emotions showing up. It's all connected.
Fine. Let's see. This house stinks. Our room stinks.
Pizza is weird
Our
here.
friends are back home.
And all of our stuff is in the missing van.
Oh, come on. It could be worse.
Yeah, Joy. We could be lying on the dirty floor in a bag.
Okay, I admit it. We had a rough start. But think of all the good things
No,
that...
Joy. There's absolutely no reason for Riley to be happy right now.
And to make matters more exciting, Inside Out 2 will be broadening the spectrum and will bring a lot more into the fray. The 3-time Oscar winner also expressed his excitement for the new project since it'll widely broaden the scope. It will also expand Riley's emotional universe in a big way and will be a little bit more truthful. That sounds promising. So if you're wondering whether you're gonna see any more emotions being added to the mix, the The answer is an enormous yes. When doing the research for the first outline, Doctor was told that there would generally be between 5 to 27 emotions included. So besides the basic 5, you can imagine how complicated and detailed the movie will be. I mean, the first part itself showed the 5 getting into arguments every now and then over how situations should be handled. And with more popping up, will it be a full-on battle in Riley's mind? I can't wait to find out. It's been far too long since the previous part came out, and I'm literally brimming with anticipation. So how long do I have to wait till I can catch up with Riley?
You gotta remember, when Riley was 3, animals were all the rage. The cow goes moo, the horse goes neigh. It's all people talked about back then.
Yeah, I guess that's true. What are you doing out here?
Well, there's not much call for imaginary friends lately, so,
Here's where things get a little disappointing. There's still a year left. Yeah, I know, major bummer. It's scheduled to be released in theaters by June 14th, 2024. But on the bright side, I already know it's going to be worth the wait. Inside Out 1 won widespread critical acclaim and grossed over $850 million, and it proved to be a major hit for Pixar. Hoping to double up on that success, it was greenlit for a sequel this past September. There were major suspicions about whether there would even be a second part after the release of Toy Story 4 in 2019. Practically stomping on fans' hopes, Pixar announced its plan to focus on developing original films rather than sequels. But 2022 brought some light back as the studio released a Toy Story spin-off, Lightyear. The movie paved the way simultaneously for both Inside Out 2 and Toy Story 5 to enter production. As for the cast, that information remains strictly under wraps. Until now, only Amy Poehler, who plays Joy, is confirmed to return. While talking about Joy in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Poehler mentioned how she was a very physical character to play. You have to really stand up, and you cannot sit down and record her. She also stated that it took a minute to remember how she moved through the world after 8 long years. And since everyone's practically desperate to learn more, they've resorted to guessing. According to People, Phyllis Smith and Lewis Black will also be reprising their roles as Sadness and Anger. Unfortunately, Mindy Kaling, who plays Disgust, has dropped out of the cast. She sent her best wishes for the new project and mentioned that although she had a great time working on the first part, she won't be returning for the next one and has no doubts it will be just as good.
Sorry, I went sad again, didn't I?
I'll tell you what, we can keep working on that when we get back, okay?
Okay.
But I just don't understand.
Adding to that list, Bill Hader, who plays Fear, has also taken his leave from the franchise. But on the bright side, there's gonna be a bunch of new voice actors joining the cast. With Doctor's promise of the film bringing a whole new series of characters into the mix, you already know we're gonna be introduced to some amazing new voice actors. Although Doctor seems confident that the new film will do well, it'll surely be interesting to see if the studio has learned its lessons from Lightyear's failure. Not to mention, with both Mindy Kaling and Bill Hader not returning for the sequel, the film already has a major hurdle in its goal to overcome Pixar's recent franchise slump. Well, there you have it. That's all about Inside Out 2's major details.